Satang Prasanga.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, and welcome to today's session. I pray that all is well with you and your families at this time. So we're moving on to the next sutra today, and it goes as follows. We are asked to trust that we are neither alone, abandoned, nor forgotten. Those moments appearing as worst at times turn out to be our best. They can transform our character, point out our weaknesses, and reduce attachments. As we're learning to understand ourselves through internal study, introspection, we're learning to understand what true compassion is about. In our misdirected understanding of compassion, the devotee thinks that you solve my problem according to the way I understand it. And to that person at that time, that is God's grace, God's compassion. And in one sense, it is a cry for help, but if it's not fulfilled, then it becomes disparity. The devotee then thinks, but I tried and I did everything. The problem is your definition of compassion. Your definition is based on what you've learned from the constructs of society. And according to society, God helps those, He's very compassionate. So that's a good part. But how He helps, that they don't know, because they don't follow scripture. They haven't read scripture. They haven't seen how He does it. Therefore, just knowing He helps is half the problem. How He does it is the other half. Until we explore the second part, the other half of how He helps, you're not going to know whether you're being helped or not. That can be very difficult, because He may be helping you, and it's just that you're not able to understand how He's helping you. You may be seeing it as a tragedy, when in itself it's actually a great victory. So we see here, it says, we are asked to trust that we are neither alone, abandoned, nor forgotten. These are very difficult situations, and nobody wants to be in that situation where they feel alone, abandoned, and forgotten. Society sometimes does that to us. They push us to a corner by the pressures of climbing to the top. And we feel that we can then trust God, and He won't abandon us, He won't forsake us. And then when it doesn't happen, we lose faith both in society and in God. And then where does that leave us? In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna describes, actually Arjuna describes, it's like a riven cloud, abandoned nowhere. It's just in the sky, it's just abandoned. So nobody wants to find themselves in that situation. So if these philosophical concepts are gradually explored, they become beautiful tutorials of life. I was remembering a beautiful story from Lila Amrita. Prabhupada got the storefront, and it was $125 a month that they had to pay there. And of course feeding everyone and all the Sunday feasts. So at that time, nobody had money. And Brahmananda Prabhu, he was a teacher, Bruce, I forget his surname, but he was a teacher earning $400 a month. And of course we had devotees like Jayananda Prabhu, who was a taxi driver, and I think Tamal Krishna Maharaj at that time was working at a printing press. And all these devotees together, they were trying to earn monies to support Krishna, to the process, and because they wanted to please Srila Prabhupada mainly, and they could see his efforts and his sincerity to start this and to do this. So the devotees were asking Prabhupada at that time, Prabhupada, where's the money going to come from? And then Srila Prabhupada explained that, we are devotees of God. And if he can provide for the huge African elephant its food every day, and for the tiny ant its little piece of sugar or grain of food every day, to make sure that these animals reach to that place to get the food, to get the particular quota that was allocated for it. If it can do that just for the general mass of devotees, of people, of entities, then can you imagine what he would do for his devotees? And these devotees became, oh, Haribo! They became very excited because Prabhupada's trust in Krishna was so strong. His belief in Krishna Eka Sharanam. We were talking about the 25 qualities of a devotee. Krishna Eka Sharanam. Completely surrendered to Krishna, shelter of Krishna. What to speak of Abhay Charana Ravindaya, if that person is taking shelter. And that's his meaning of his name, taking shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. So those were beautiful days in Krishna consciousness when such deep-rooted faith was being built. Actually, the first, just remembering the sweet point, that the first Sunday feast was held there on the 12th of June. Yesterday, Devi Shakti Mataji was giving a class based on the inauguration of ISKCON. And she was mentioning this point that 12th of June, Prabhupada cooked 12 preparations for the first Sunday feast and 16 people came. And Prabhupada declared, this is the start of the Sunday love feasts. And we know, where would we be without the Sunday love feast? You remember those amazing, now is the time we're crying, right? Oh Krishna, where's those rasgullas and that gulab jamuns and everything cooked in ghee and samosas and kachoris and 12 items Prabhupada single-handedly cooked. I remember in our early days we had some of the best feasts, devotees like Ananda Chandrika Mataji, she's now in Johannesburg, and Tribanga Prabhu. They would come sometimes to cook on festival days, and so we would learn with them how things were, because they had Prabhupada devotees associations, Prabhupada disciples from caterage time, and they learnt the art of transcendental cooking. Prabhupada would call it, this is the kitchen religion, transcendental cooking. So when they would cook these mind-blowing feasts, now because of economic constraint, what to do? We don't get those kind of feasts anymore. But wow, did we have some feasts? We can see the result. We even become Maha now. Big problem. We can't get rid of the Maha now. The Maha is attached to us now. But what beautiful days, those amazing transcendental feasts. So Prabhupada, 16 people came, 12 preparations, beautiful feasts. The sutra goes on to say, those moments appearing as worst at times turn out to be our best. They can transform our character. Many times when there's difficulties, we always feel, there's no hope now. But it gives us a moment to reflect, because nothing material is going to solve our situation. If there was anything material, we would have taken that option first, right? Leave Krishna for last, because his arrangements don't align with mine. So leave him for last. But no other options now, no other alternatives than Krishna. This is Chaitanya Charitamrita. Chaitanya Charitamrita. Chaitan means the consciousness. Charita means the character. Amrita means the nectar. Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's the consciousness of the eternal soul. This is a beautiful description of how the soul transforms. It doesn't just change. Change can happen, but transformation, that comes on the level of the soul, and that's what's required. A total metamorphosis of consciousness. That is required. It goes on to say, pointing out our weaknesses and reduce attachments. So, pointing out one's weaknesses is only valuable for someone who wants to grow. If the person doesn't have any desire to grow internally, pointing out the weaknesses could have an opposite effect. The false ego could then grow and you would end up in trouble with the person. So unless somebody has an internal drive to improve himself or herself, then only does weaknesses help to be pointed out. Otherwise, leave it alone until they have enough. Material nature is doing her part, so they will get. Prabhupada describes the Durga Devi has 3 prongs. Her weapon has 3 spears on it, 3 prongs. Adi Atmik, Adi Bautik, Adi Devik. She pokes us with that. So eventually we'll get the message. If we don't get it philosophically, we'll get it physically. Somehow or the other, Krishna makes sure we get the message. So better to learn from others instead of going down that path yourself. There's I was remembering in, where is it? I think in Varanasi. Yes, Varanasi, when we were touring there. This is the place, very ancient city, spiritual city, Varanasi, Banaras. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also went there for preaching. Of course, it's the headquarters of the Mayavadi sect, so we don't like to go there for that reason. But it's a very sacred city. And in there, it was also where the Tulsidas, the famous Ramayan commentator, he wrote Ramana's Charita, I think it's called, and also the Hanuman Chalisa was also written there. There's a temple nearby there where these glorious texts were written. So there I found an interesting concept. It was a book actually called Ram Agya Prashna, and this was quite an interesting. I like the principle of it, of what this stands for. So what happens is you are allowed 1 question per day, because in Ram's time he opened his doors for anybody to come and ask questions. We remember the story of the Sutra that came there, even the dog came there. So he would open his doors for anyone to come ask questions. So now that Ram is not physically present, how do we ask questions? So this Ram Agya Prashna. Prashna means questions. And Agya means, loosely translated, come. You can come and ask questions. So how it works is, there's a number system which you put your finger on a certain number system, and when your finger picks those numbers out, those numbers are then referred into the Ramayana for the particular text. And that text, if you read that particular text will answer your problem for that day. So very interesting principle. If we apply that to Krishna with the Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam with such faith, just open the page and trust that your answer lies in that page. Of course, they had some conditions. You had to have a bath, must be clean. You have to have a bath before you come. You do that, and a certain time of the day, and you only allowed once. To do that per day. So a little bit of karma kanda, a little bit of fruitive result in that. But I like the principle that when you're in difficulty, if you don't know any verses of Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, then open any text, just open the book and see what providence reveals. And Krishna being Bhava Grahi Dhanardana, he'll reveal something there. Prabhupada said if they read 1 word of these books, their life can change. 1 word. So you got a whole page there. How many words? Surely something can help you. Your problem is so big that nothing on that one page can help you. That's a little impudent. So surely something there can inspire you on that one page to read and change your life. I'm also remembering the wonderful devotee in Govardhan, Lota Baba ki jai, Puncharika Lota Baba. This devotee is so patient. He's just so patient for Krishna that when Krishna was leaving, after he left from Akrur Ghat, he was leaving out, going to Mathura, then even up to today, there's that Chodai is there, that intersection between Govardhan, Vrindavan and Mathura. Usually I used to catch the tempo traveler from there, that auto rickshaw, and drop us at Chhattisgarh, and from Chhattisgarh we catch another auto back to Vrindavan. So Lota Baba, Govardhan is not very far from there. So Krishna and Balaram were going by, and Lota, hey Krishna, where are you going, Kanhaiya? And no, I'm just going to Mathura, bhaiya, I'm just going here. Mathura, I got some calm, thoda calm hai. I'm coming back just now, I'll come back. No, but how long will you be? Devotee wants to know. Devotee wants to know how long you'll be, but no. Just now I'll come back only. Just wait, I'll come back. I'm going to wait right here for you. Now Krishna is in a bit of a difficult situation. No, don't worry, you go home, I'll come back. Just maybe few hours, if not one day, I'll come back. Now he said one day I'll come back. Is that one day means it will take one day, or probably one day I'll come back? Krishna is very tricky with words. So he said one day I'll come back. So within one day, or will it take like maybe one day I'll come back? So this Lota Baba said, no Krishna, no Kanhaiya, when are you coming back? I'm coming back. Otherwise, okay, you don't trust me, you just wait here, I'm coming back. And up to now, 5,000 years, at the tail end of Govardhan, Punch means tail. Punchari ka Lota Baba. This Lotna in Brajbas means to wait. Just waiting there. Lotna. So he became Lota Baba. So Lotna is just waiting there for Krishna up to now. 5,000 years he's so patiently waiting for Krishna to come back. What a great devotee. Puncharika Lota Baba ki jai. So I hope you enjoyed today's class. Please join us again tomorrow. Hare Krishna.